Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to this science business event that is titled Europe in the Digital World. Thank you for those who made it here, despite the protest, the march, the strike, the everything. And thank you for those who are joining online. My name is Marilyn Fieschi. I'm the CEO of Science Business. Most of you know what Science Business is. We are, just for those who don't know, we are a news company and a communications company that specializes in research and innovation policy. This event actually is a pilot, okay? We are launching a new series of events that we call the Science Business Sector Days. As you may have gathered from the program, this event focuses on digital, but then in September, we will have a Green Day, Green and Climate Day, and then in November, Health Day. Those events are all constructed in the same way. They are a mix of high-level policy discussions and some more thematic discussion around a particular policy topic or a particular technology. What we want to do is to take stock of what is in the works, what's in the legislative pipelines, what are the hottest files, whether at the Parliament or at the Commission. You all know that we are entering the last 12 months of the terms of this Parliament and this Commission. In addition, we have some kind of empty chair crisis on the Commission side, with considering the Research Commissioner, Maria Gabriel, resigned last week. So all that combined, we want to understand what is likely to go through the pipeline and what is going to happen beyond this Commission and this Parliament, and what will be the impact on the world of research and innovation. This is for the big setup. We are going with no further delay we're going to launch the debate. But before we do so, I want to thank the partners of this event, namely the Science Business Network members, IP Europe and Business Finland. We will have some Twitter activity on Cybus, and that's the handle of Science Business, so feel free to feed the discussion there. What is going to happen is that we will start here. We will split into two sessions at 2:30. We can run to the coffee if you wish, but otherwise we will split into two groups. One group will stay here focusing on 6G, and on the other side there would be a session on IP. All right?
Right.
Very good. Let's go for it. And it's my pleasure to invite our first speaker. We have the pleasure to welcome here today Mathieu Michel. Mathieu, please come on stage. You can sit here. Mathieu is the state's Mathieu Michel. Sorry, I make it very informal.
Mathieu, it's okay.
Mathieu is okay.
That's my surname.
Fantastic.
So
very good. Please take a seat. Mathieu is the State Secretary of Belgium for digitalization. He is in charge of administrative simplification, privacy protection, and buildings regulation.
And digitization.
Right. That's the first thing. And in fact, it's a very good, I want to tell you that we're very lucky because we are going to hear about the Belgian presidency that is only coming in the first half of 2024. So we haven't heard much about it yet. And in fact, that's why you're here. And we're very happy about that. So I'll let you tell us what is in the works. Is digitalization going a big priority for the Belgian presidency?
I think that will be a big priority for the Belgian presidency, but that's also a big priority for everybody right now. We've seen it since COVID-19. Everywhere it's digitizing. So the work on transversality, convergence, making things work together is really something important in Belgium, because we see, for example, police digitizing, justice, health, and so on. But I think that what's really important is to make it digitized together, the interoperability, the way the data are working together and so on. So first of all, I think that what's really important is to identify that it's digitizing everywhere, and we need to build transversality. And in that way, Europe, for me, and even more in Belgium, Europe is really, yeah, we are lucky to have Europe, because if we build a process, a digital process in Europe, it's it's also applying in Flanders, in Wallonia, in Brussels the same way. So it helps my life. In fact, first of all, secondly, we all see, and even more as we speak about science business, we all see that the evolution of technologies, innovation, put on the table so many new questions. If we speak about artificial intelligence, if we speak about blockchain, the impact of cryptocurrency or crypto value, and actually for the terms here for of the commission, and it will be also the Belgian presidency, there are such a lot of challenges that we must face, that it will be really exciting, but that's also really challenging to in fact conclude a commission, but also to put on rail the next jobs that we will have to achieve. So yeah, it's really exciting, and we have a lot of job to do.
So what are the priorities for the Belgian presidency in the digital field?
Actually, I've got three main priorities if we speak about digitization. The first one, maybe the biggest one, is about the responsibility on the internet and digital world, and I connect it to the virtual identity. You know, if you follow the evolution of the internet, the Web 1 was built anonymous. You could walk on the internet to go and visit a website, but there was no interaction, there was no responsibility. And then came the DSA, the DMA, and we are in it right now, with more responsibility for the platform. I think with the coming of the upcoming of the blockchain, Web3, and the way people are interacting together, that the responsibility of the people, the citizen, is more and more important. And we see that, for example, if you look at Twitter or Facebook and the verified user, in fact, the verified user comes from the policy of a company, but there's no regulation. And you know that EADS is coming. And I think that to bring a tool that permits to identify if in some places on the internet someone is verified through a clear and readable regulation, that's something interesting. So first of all, it will be the responsibility of the user of the digital world, and it will have a big importance as we speak about cybersecurity, crypto assets and so on. That's that's a little bit thinking about the way we can make a gatekeeping if you have responsibilities and exchange in the internet. So responsibility of the user. Second, and I think that we are all facing this big challenge. That's how we can build skills in the digital world. I see so many extraordinary companies which have big opportunities in front of them, because the market is evolving so fast, but they don't have the skilled people to tackle the challenge. That's something really, really important. And so I think that we must build more agility in the way we can identify the skilled people. Today we live in a building skills world based on the diploma. It takes a lot of time to have a skilled worker. I think that we must build more agility based on that reflection. So the skill is really something important. And I think, firstly, for the companies, the worker, but that's also a big challenge about the digital gap. we digitized more and more. You've just spoken about my charge as a simplification in Belgium. That's really a challenge in Belgium. And I think that the digital tools can give the impression that the things are simple. And so that's a little bit a tip for me. I want to use more digital tools to simplify the life of the people, but so they need to be digitized, and so digital gap is even more a problem to my point, and that's also all over in Europe. So responsibility skills, and the third big priority will be the algorithm in general. How do we live with the algorithms? There is, obviously there is of course the question of the AI. You know, the AI Act is on the way. It will be voted in Parliament in June, I think, and then the trilogue will take his charge. And obviously, the AI Act and the AI in general asks so many questions about what is it as a tools, how do we use it as an application, which responsibility, and we've all seen that this weekend the G7 has announced that it was also a priority for them. I think that's a priority for humanity to think how we live today with the algorithm, and how we will live tomorrow with the algorithm, and which responsibility. So if we speak about algorithm, there is the AI Act, and probably that we will have with the Belgian presidency to conclude the work on the AI Act through the responsibility and audit reflection and the level of risk and so on. But I think that we must go further on two other questions about algorithm. That's how blockchain can be used in the public application. And it's important to speak about cybersecurity as we speak about privacy as well. There is a project called EPSI. Maybe you all know that. That's a technical project about blockchain, and I'd like to build some political projects. I call it European. That's a little bit public Ethereum. European. In fact, if you speak about blockchain, it's the blockchain can allow exchange of data with a secure manner, so it's a secure way. I think that's probably a part of the technical future. Okay. And I think that we must, as Europeans, identify the opportunity of using some kind of blockchain. That's not far away from the reflection about the crypto euro. That's not far away about the reflection about the title of property, but based on the blockchain. And so I think that we must explore those kind of technology to be more efficient in the way we exchange the data. And then with the algorithm, and I told you, okay, that's some kinds of an attention for us to identify how we live the algorithm. And I think that we must build something to bring trust in the way we exchange with algorithm. And that's why I think that the idea of an agency in charge of being able to identify if an algorithm trustworthy is or not is something that's really important for us. A little bit like
an agency, a European agency?
For example, I take, for example, the European Agency for Drugs. I think that the algorithm is not far away about, if you speak about that idea that a drugs, if you take medicine, you don't know what's the molecules in the medicine are, but you trust the fact that it was made through a certain process which is trustworthy. I think that.
So you imagine a European medicine agency for algorithm.
Yeah, but not medicine then.
Right. But a European algorithm agency that would put a seal of approval.
If you look at the AI Act, the AI Act has to have an agency, a regulator, which can identify what's behind an algorithm. I told you a few minutes ago that one of the problem is the fact that we have a lack of skilled people.
Yeah.
Can you imagine in every country in Europe building our own regulator about algorithm? But an algorithm is deployed in Belgium, in Italy, in Spain.
Right.
That's the same, and always duplicating those kind of agency. In fact, it hasn't got any sense because it costs so much more. And the way we identify, that's a little bit the same if we speak about the data, the data protection agencies and so on. So I think that more and more, if we speak about digitization, we must bring back at the European level those kind of regulators.
So I want to ask you something about industry. Europe is not leading in the digital technology fields. So what can be done? I mean, I hear the technology development part, the word of responsibility and trust coming back a few times in your speech. All right, but what can be done to boost industry, whether big or small companies in Europe?
I think that there are two things that I think that we need to do. The first one, I'm sorry, because that appears always to be a restriction, but there's a regulation. That's bringing trust in the technology. I think that if you take, for example, the GDPR, what was a little bit the constitution of digital in Europe, and it brought trust in innovation. And so it can be maybe seen as a restriction or a difficulty, but in fact it brings more trust in the way we bring innovation. I think that one of the strengths of Europe is to build a digital world which respects the people, which respect your privacy, which respect, and it can be seen as a problem, but I think that in the coming years, it will be more a strength than a weakness. That's the first thing. So the regulation, I think, bring the opportunity to be better. The second thing, and that's maybe something that remain a problem, that's if we speak about investment, finance, Europe is not as strong as we can see in the United States, for example, because the way a startup can grow, in the first months or years of its life, it's okay. But if a company wants to grow at the global level, it begins to become really complicated, because the way the investment tools are split in Europe is really complicated to tackle. And I like to connect that thing to a mindset that we still have to build in Europe. The mindset in many parts of the world is more ambitious, more challenging. In Europe, I think that we must develop. That's what I say in Belgium, for example. That's what I call in Belgium being a smart nation. That's building a mindset which is ambitious, which is inclusive, and which is convergent. And I think that's maybe something that we must more develop in Europe. And in that way, if we speak about investment, an investment which is convergent, that means not only French means and Dutch means, but working together into investment. That means also working together in choosing our champions. We spend many time in Europe to build competitors in Europe, and think that we must go out of it. So but basically that's more a mindset. But if it's existed one magic button saying, okay, well, I touch the button and then I have 5 Google and 7 Facebook, everybody would touch it.
I have one last question, and then I let you go. Where do you see the biggest impact of digital technologies or policy on the fields of research and innovation? Is it on this question of trust and responsibility? Is it on a particular sector? I know it's a tough question and I know the answer can be long, but well, just, yeah, pick maybe a couple
Can I
of
make a
areas.
a long answer?
Well, yeah,
No,
but then we'll have issues with
no,
the next speakers.
two things. First of all, I think that the biggest challenges is to see how we can unleash the power of the data. And that's yeah, a lot of my job today. It's not maybe not yeah, we cannot really easily see that, but it's working on the way we can unleash the data.
Yeah.
And the way we can unleash the data is by building trust. And so that since 2 years, that's my job in Belgium. This is trust in data means unleashing the power of the data, and unleashing the power of the data means unleashing the power of new business model. As you speak about health, mobility, energy, but here in Belgium, we are more focusing on health. I think that the priority and the where there will be more social impact, I think, is about health, because you can make better treatments, you can develop more predictive medicine, and we know that the healthcare system costs a lot and could be more efficient. And for us in Belgium, that will be really a priority, unleashing the power of health, of data, and priority for the health, the e-health ecosystem.
That's great. Well, you've given a very good insight into what's coming up next year. So I think it's just the beginning of the discussion. We hope to have you again soon. I want to ask you to thank
you.
Mr. Michel. Thank you.